Welcome everybody to the December 7th, 2021 meeting of the Salem Planning Commission. Shelby, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Augustine?
Here.
Commissioner Goebel?
Here.
Commissioner Griggs?
Here.
Commissioner Heller is absent. Commissioner Kopcho?
He's connecting.
Yeah.
Look, it's hard. Now doesn't do anything.
Commissioner Kopcho?
I'm present.
Commissioner Levin?
Here.
Commissioner McKinley?
Here.
Commissioner Pollock?
Here.
And I know Commissioner Slater just joined us and his audio looks like it is connecting. Commissioner Slater calling roll. Commissioner Slater?
Commissioner Slater, are you there? Are you signed in? Might be grabbing a glass of water or something.
Yeah, I did ask him to unmute, but I'm guessing he'll chime in when we get started.
Okay.
We do have quorum.
Thank you. So we don't have anybody signed up for public comment at this point. The consent calendar, before I turn to Commissioner Kopcho for that motion, I do need to confirm with Commissioner Slater if he indeed was able to listen to the hearing of November 16th so that he can participate in the vote. But are you there yet, Commissioner Slater? I think to be safe, would we just have him abstain from the vote?
Yeah, we can do that. I'll also send him a message right now to let him know we can't hear him. So
Okay. So Commissioner Kopcho, do you have a motion?
Yes, I move to accept the consent calendar as noted.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second by Levin.
Commissioner Levin, thank you. Discussion on the motion. Shelby, will you please call the roll? Signify by saying aye if you're in favor of the motion to approve the minutes for November 16th.
Commissioner Augustine?
Aye.
Commissioner Goebel?
Aye.
Commissioner Griggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Kopcho?
Aye.
Commissioner Levin?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinley?
Aye.
Commissioner Pollock?
Aye.
And Commissioner Slater abstains and Heller is absent.
Thank you for that. Moving on to public hearings. Before I will open the hearing on case number ZC 21-03 for the 3480 Blossom Drive Northeast property. Are there any ex parte contacts or conflicts of interest, potential or actual, to declare before we do the statement of criteria? Seeing no real hands or yellow hands raised. Shelby, will you please read the statement of criteria?
This is a public hearing to consider a zone change, case number ZC 21-03 for a property located at 3476 and 3480 Blossom Drive Northeast. The criteria applicable to this application are found in the Salem Revised Code, SRC, Chapter 260.045B for land use designations. Failure to raise an issue prior to the close of the public hearing with statements or evidence sufficient to afford the Planning Commission and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals, LUBA, on that issue. A similar failure to raise constitutional issues relating to proposed conditions of approval precludes an action for damages in circuit court. Prior to the conclusion of the hearing, any participant may request an opportunity to present additional evidence or testimony. The Planning Commission will then either continue the public hearing or leave the record open for at least 7 days.
Thank you. Mr. Kapani, you have your hand raised.
Yes, thank you. Can we try Commissioner Slater again? Is he able to respond?
Commissioner Slater, are you there?
I think he might be the phone number, and I had to mute it because it was echoing when I was speaking. So let me see if I can ask him to unmute the phone.
Yeah, the 202 is his.
Okay. He
AC
did
number.
chat me and say that he's in, but I asked him if he was unable to unmute his phone. He says he's not muted, but I muted him, so I don't think he knows. But I just told him, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
do you have what you need, Mr. Kapani?
Yeah, so for the record, then, he's present and able to hear the proceedings. He just isn't able to speak at this point. Is that right?
Thanks. Thanks for that note.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Cole, we are ready for your presentation.
Good evening, Commissioners. I am Pamela Cole, and I'm the case manager for the proposed annexation and the concurrent zone change. I request that the staff report, attachments, and presentation be entered into the record. The subject property is, sorry, it skipped ahead. Sorry. Good. Not sure why I'm not getting the right screen here.
We are a patient group. You just take your time.
Okay, so the subject property is proposed for annexation into the city. The annexation number will be NXC 742. The territory annexed in the city is automatically given the city comprehensive plan designation and zoning designation that's the equivalent to the applicable county zoning designations set forth in table 260-1 plus one or more apply. Either the petitioner requests a new comprehensive plan or zone designation, the council proposes a new comprehensive plan or zone designation, or the equivalent city designation in table 261 is not consistent with the Salem area comprehensive plan. In this case, the western area zone is Marion County Urban Transition 5, which would be equivalent to city residential agriculture or single family residential. And those zoning designations would not be consistent with the multifamily residential designation in the comprehensive plan. The applicant has requested RM2 multiple family residential 2 zoning, which would be 12 to 28 units per acre. And the Planning Commission evaluates that and makes a recommendation to council. The annexation territory here is outlined in black. The annexation will be presented to City Council for approval in early 2022. The red dashed line indicates city limits. Blossom Drive is a collector street in the Salem Transportation Systems Network and is proposed for an on-street bike network. Astoria Drive northeast to the west is also a collector. Portland Road northeast is a major arterial. Astoria, Portland Road, and Hayesville Drive all have existing bike lanes. The territory contains a single-family dwelling and accessory buildings now. Nearby development on the east includes single-family dwellings and a manufactured home or mobile home park. To the north and to the south, there are some warehouses, and the vacant property immediately to the west is owned by the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians. The subject property, as we talked about before, is designated multifamily residential in the comprehensive plan, and adjacent properties are designated either multifamily residential in orange, commercial in red, or industrial shown in gray. The Marion County zoning of Urban Transition 5 only applies to the western area of the territory shown here in a pale yellow color. The eastern area is zoned Marion County Multiple Family Residential RM and would automatically be zoned RM2 upon annexation. The property to the south is zoned Marion County RM Multiple Family Residential or CR/LU, Commercial Retail Limited Use. And inside the city, the nearby properties are zoned Industrial Business Campus to the west and General Industrial to the north. The map of the proposed zone change indicates roughly where the boundary would be between the current UT5 and RM zones. And this map, we also show that the territory was recently partitioned in Marion County. The existing single-family dwelling is located on the newly created Parcel 1 near Blossom Drive Northeast. The property has no homeowners association. Northgate Neighborhood Association commented that they approve of the proposal, and we haven't received any comments from citizens. Among the public agencies, we received comments from Salem Kaiser School District indicating 25 students would be estimated for the future development, and they would be going to Forest Ridge, Whitaker Middle School and McNary High School. They've asked that bus pullouts and a covered shelter should be provided, and those kinds of issues would be addressed later at site plan review. Marion County Public Works commented that the property currently has a development deferral agreement that would require Blossom Drive improvements along Parcel 1 when the multifamily development occurs. Chariots also supports the proposed zone change, and they anticipate that transit service could be expanded in this area in the future. Public Works indicated that a UGA development permit will be required for the development. We have adequate water and sewer in the area, but may need to extend stormwater to the eastern boundary. Blossom Drive currently does not meet the collector standards, and all these site-specific requirements would be addressed at site plan review. The fire department indicated that access and water supply will be required at time of development. Building and safety had no concerns. Staff found that the criteria are met. The area can be adequately served by extensions of water, sewer, and stormwater and street improvements. The multifamily proposals compatible with adjacent development and land use designations. Salem, as we know, has a deficit of multifamily development land, and the proposals in the public interest because it would benefit the public by allowing development of housing, and it's also consistent with the goals and policies of the comprehensive plan. Therefore, staff recommends that the zone change request from Marion County Urban Transition 5 acres to City of Salem RM2 be applied upon annexation. That concludes the formal presentation. Of course, I'm available to answer questions.
Thank you, Pamela. Questions for Pamela on this proposal? And I think if you could take your screen off, Pamela, I can see yay, I can see everybody. Commissioner Goebel, did you have your hand raised?
I did.
Literally?
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you for your presentation. I appreciate that information. I have a couple questions for you. So first, I'd like to ask, I assume that the Sluts Tribe was given the opportunity to comment. So I'd like to have some more information on whether they provided any feedback or if to what extent they were given the opportunity to comment on the proposal.
So these types of developments don't have the same notice requirements as other land use applications currently. So we don't provide notice within 250 feet of the proposed area for the annexation part. They should have received notice as a property owner for the zone change. And I didn't receive any comments.
Okay, thank you.
Follow-up question, Commissioner Goebel?
Yeah, so follow-up question. Is there a reason why the zone change is being processed separately from the annexation procedure if they were submitted as a consolidated application?
It's the way that the process works currently, because we have to go to Planning Commission first for the zone change part of it. And then Planning Commission makes the recommendation, and then council decides both on the land use designation recommendation and on the annexation criteria. So Planning Commission doesn't have feedback on the annexation criteria except for the land use designation. Council gets to look at the whole package.
Okay, and so then follow-up question then, will the tribe be given the opportunity to comment at a later time during this procedure?
They would receive notice because they were eligible as a participant in the zone change process or receive notice from the zone change process.
Okay, thank you.
Follow-up to Commissioner Goebel's comments on the Sluts Tribe. That property that's to the west of the proposed property proposal, is that where they're going to build the casino?
I do not know.
No. Okay, Commissioner Levin's shaking his head. I knew it was over in that bailiwick somewhere, so I wasn't sure if that was, it's not really relevant to this discussion anyway, so I'll make myself stop asking questions about that. Other questions for staff? Commissioner Levin.
I just want to make a comment just because you had stated that I shook my head no, that that was not an official determination.
Okay.
But I was shaking my head no because the parcel of land would be strategically too small, that I doubt that would be it.
Okay.
I think what they have been planning is by the RV park that they own.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Commissioner Levin. Other questions of Pamela on this particular case? Not seeing any hands raised. Thank you, Ms. Cole. I'm sure we may have questions later, but thank you for that presentation. It was excellent as always.
Thank you.
The applicant, Mr. Kilby, would you like to address the Planning Commission? And you have 15 minutes. And if you would please start by stating your name and address for the record. And you're muted. The words we hate to hear.
Good evening. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
My name is Brad Kilby. I'm a consulting planner with Harper Hoff Peterson Regelis. The address is 205 Southeast Spokane Street, Portland, Oregon 97202. And I'm here today on behalf of the owner of the property, Clutch Industries, to discuss the I'll discuss both the annexation and zone change. We did file them concurrently, and I do realize that you guys don't make the decision on the annexation, but I will show you what we're doing. Maybe. There we go. So the proposal, the applicant proposes to annex 3.5 acres into the city of Salem. And I'll show you in a moment. The site is actually adjacent to the city limits. And it would rezone the property. We're proposing to rezone the property to multifamily residential from the Marion County Urban Transition Zone. Multifamily zoning designation would be consistent with the Salem Area Comprehensive Plan and is similar to the multifamily zoning that Marion County has to the east of the property. This is the location of the property. If you can see my arrow, here's I-5, here's Highway 99E or Portland Avenue, and then here's Blossom Drive, and then this is the property, all this property here. This was, as Pamela had indicated, this was partitioned through the county to divide this little house off of the property, and then the rest of the property would in the future be developed with multifamily residential. This just demonstrates the location of the current city limits. So it's the red line. It includes the Slet's property, and then this would be the new property line if it was brought in to the city, the new city limits. A couple of reasons that we're requesting this zoning. The property is within the urban growth boundary. It's split zone now for multifamily and urban transition. Urban transition zone is just that. It's intended to be an area that will ultimately be urbanized because it's in the urban growth boundary. The comprehensive plan designates the entire property as multifamily residential. Upon annexation, we would assume the city zoning that coincides with the Salem Area Comprehensive Plan. Urban utilities and services are in close proximity to the site. In fact, there are sewer and water facilities within Blossom, but there is a need to extend stormwater in the future upon development. These are the approval criteria for a zone change in the city of Salem, whether the comprehensive plan and zone designation provides for the logical urbanization of land, whether the comprehensive plan and zone designation is compatible with development patterns in the nearby vicinity, whether the social, economic, or demographic patterns in the nearby vicinity have so altered that the current designations are no longer appropriate, and whether it is in the public interest that the proposed change be made. Here's the reasons that I think that we meet that criteria. It's adjacent to the existing city limits and has existing city services nearby and available to the property. It can readily be served by adequate public facilities and services, including water, sanitary, storm drainage, fire protection, emergency services, and police. The comprehensive plan anticipates urbanization of this area. Nearby properties are also developed with similar or have similar zoning. There are over closer to Portland Avenue, some multifamily residential, as well as some commercial services that you would expect would be available near a multifamily development. The 2015 housing needs analysis illustrates that there is a need for approximately 2,897 multifamily dwellings and approximately 207 additional acres of land to be zoned for multifamily development over the planning horizon. I think I've worked on a couple of, over the last 3 years, a couple of rezones within the city of Salem, and we've only, I think, up to about 12 acres out of that 207 acres that I've proposed rezones on. Arguably, this rezone is and the annexation is in the best interest of the city because it is in a location. It makes a logical extension of city services because they're already available and is adjacent to the existing city boundary. We're respectfully requesting that the Planning Commission accept staff's recommendation and the findings and conclusions in the staff report and recommend approval of the zone change to the City Council. And I am available for any questions that you might have.
Thank you for your presentation. Questions for Mr. Kilby? If you guys could raise your hand. I don't see any questions for you. It was a pretty clear-cut application. It's such a need for our community, so I think we're all excited about that. And last chance for questions. I think you're off the hook, Mr. Kilby. We don't have anybody signed up from the Neighborhood Association, nor do we have anybody signed up to testify from the public. So with that, are there any final questions of staff? Wow, you guys are very quiet tonight. And you have an opportunity to rebut, but there's nothing to rebut. So I think you're good, Mr. Kilby. And before I close the hearing, are there any requests from the applicant to keep the record open or continue the hearing?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. I'll close the hearing and then I'm looking to Commissioner McKinley for a motion.
Madam President, I move that we adopt the report for public hearing 5.1.
Thank you, Commissioner McKinley. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Pollack. Discussion on the motion. Okay. Well, Shelby, will you call the roll? Signify by saying aye if you are in favor of the motion, nay if you are opposed.
Commissioner Augustine?
Aye.
Commissioner Goebel?
Aye.
Commissioner Griggs?
Aye.
Commissioner Kopcho?
Aye.
Commissioner Levin?
Aye.
Commissioner McKinley?
Aye.
Commissioner Pollack?
Aye.
And Commissioner Slater?
Aye.
Motion passed. It's good to have you, Commissioner Slater. That's so frustrating when IT does not work.
Well, I purchased a Mac Mini recently and I connected it to an old monitor and I realized that I no longer have video or audio with my new monitor. My new old monitor.
Oh, no. Well, I'm glad you were able to connect with us.
Thank you.
You bet. No special orders of business, no information report, still no public comment. Lisa, Planning Administrator's report, please.
Okay, yeah, so we have on the fly sheet, there's two hearings listed for the 21st. The second one listed on there, comp plan zone change for Dokes Ferry Road Northwest is being postponed till the second meeting in January.
Okay.
So we're just sending out notice of that this week to let the neighbors know. So we won't be having that hearing on that date. And we're not sure about the continued hearing, the zone change on Kubler and Kubler next to Costco. We're meeting again with the applicant Thursday to talk some more about their application. So we'll see if they are ready to go forward on the 21st. If not, then potentially it could, be delayed. So we'll let you know if they do decide to postpone it, then you would get to cancel a meeting right before Christmas. It'd be a Christmas miracle.
It would be a Christmas miracle.
Don't be too excited. Yeah, I'm sorry. I said so many. All the meetings are really compressed, this because of the holidays, and so just like meeting after meeting every night. So, the other update is we had the UDC code amendments at council last night. Maybe some of you spent your evening watching them. If so, I hope you also were like drinking wine or something. They were long. The council has continued the hearing to next Monday. That's their next December meeting. And potentially they will vote next Monday, or they might ask for amendments, and then we bring it back in January. If you didn't watch the kind of hot topics, just like at Planning Commission, were the trees. So testimony and questions about the tree preservation, parking. So since the Planning Commission recommended no parking for middle housing, some neighborhoods submitted letters saying don't do that. So there was no neighborhood associations testified, but there were a few individuals, I think, that read the testimony. So they came and said, please do what the Planning Commission said, no parking. And while you're at it, get rid of parking for everything across the city. So there was some testimony in support of getting rid of minimums all across the city. There was testimony about the property boundary verification, that kind of weird land use application that we're proposing to get rid of. And those were kind of the bulk of and there was one person that testified against chickens. Didn't want more chickens.
Wow.
Yeah, her neighbor has chickens, and there's like a foul smell. I did not mean to say that. But a bad smell.
That was good.
Terrible fun.
It was a good fun.
That makes it difficult for her to use her backyard, and so she thinks if they're allowed to have even more chickens, it will have a worse impact on her. So, so more to come. I thought it went well. Bryce did a really good job presenting it, and we're just working through it. So we will see what the council does. They're taking more testimony on Monday, so they did continue it so people can continue to testify next Monday. They have a burning desire to do that. And I think that's my only update. The city manager announced that he is retiring last night at council, and I think it was in the paper today. So maybe you've all seen that. And
yeah, I saw it on Facebook on Sunday, and Alan goes like, "What?" Like he's like, "What?"
I know that was my reaction too, live during council. Oh my God. At the end of February, and Kristen Rutherford, the urban development director, is going to be the interim city manager while they conduct a search for a new city manager. And then Norman Wright, the community development director, will help lead urban development while Kristen is taking on a different, very busy job as interim city manager. So some changes, leadership coming in Salem, but day-to-day work just keeps coming. So I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure we'll get a great new city manager, and Steve deserves his retirement, but we will miss him.
We'll miss him at Rotary too. He's quite active in that, so he'll be missed. Any discussion on coming back in person anytime soon?
There has not been any discussion. Nope. I will tell you when I hear it. I know. We don't have our holiday party.
I know. Can't say goodbye to Josh appropriately and Ryan. Okay. Anybody have questions? Don't you wave your hand yet. You're not off the 21st yet.
Speaking about new commissioners, I believe that the council is going to interview 3 commissioners in January. So they reviewed applications yesterday, I think. And so I can't say it till it's public, but it should be on Monday's agenda that they're recommending 3 folks for an interview. So when that comes out, I have to wait to make sure it comes out on the agenda on Thursday. If so, then I will send it out to you so you can see who they're considering for appointment.
That'd be great. Thank you. I think Ian Commissioner Levin, had a question for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Madam President.
Yes.
Question, Lisa, will Mrs. Rutherford have an opportunity to be considered as a candidate for the city manager position?
I have heard that she is not interested in applying. She told her staff that she is not applying and she's just filling in, and then she will be back to take the helm at UD. So
she would be wonderful though.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
Okay, other questions for Lisa? No,
Great, thank you.
I think our work here is done, so I'll adjourn the meeting and we'll maybe see you on the 21st. And if not, have a great holiday, you guys. Talk to you later.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.